Hello everyone, this is Adish. I'm a grade 10 student from Mumbai. So today's problem is minimize difference. This problem is an excellent problem on binary search and a topological sorting idea. So you need to know Kahn's algorithm, which uses breadth first search to find the topological sorting of a directed acyclic graph in order to understand my solution. My solution actually modifies the Kahn's algorithm because in this problem we are given an undirected graph. So that's why we can't use directly topological sorting because there is no such topological sorting of an undirected graph. That's why we use a modification of Kahn's algorithm to solve this problem, and we also use binary search. So you need to know those two topics well. So in this problem we are basically given an undirected graph with n vertices and m edges. The graph need not be connected, but it is a simple graph. And we need to assign each node with a number so that the numbers assigned to the nodes become a permutation from 1 to n. So basically this weird condition just tells us that the numbers should form a permutation. And also we need to minimize the max di minus the min di, where di is the number of neighbors of node I which are assigned a number less than I. So for example, let's say node I is assigned the maximum value of n, then we know that di will be the number of neighbors of node I because all the neighbors of node I will have a value less than n. Similarly, if you take the node which has ci equal to 1, then it's clear that that node will have no neighbors with a value less than the node which is assigned, so with a value less than 1, and that's why we know that min di will be 0, and we basically need to minimize the max di. So that's the first observation for this problem. We just need to minimize the max di. Now the second observation is that to minimize the max di we can use a binary search, and in the binary search check function we can basically find a way to assign the nodes the numbers, and in the check function itself we maintain the numbers for each node, and whenever we are returning true from the check function we also update the assignment. So I'll be explaining that in the implementation, but the basic idea is to binary search on the max di value and try to minimize that. And since we know that if we are able to achieve a di value of let's say 5, then also 4 will be possible. So that's why we can use binary search. And if we know that it's not possible to do with 6, then we know 5 is the optimal value, and that's why in our binary search we'll find 5 to be the answer, which is the minimum value of the max di. And in the check function, whichever color assignment, whichever number assignment we had stored, that's what we'll return and that's what we'll print in the end. So we need to print two values. The first value represents the number of the minimum value of the max di, and the second line represents the assignments of the numbers. So let's say we had the graph from the first example, which is this. Now let's say that we are binary searching and we reach a value of 2. So let's see how we can, because we know that 2 is the answer, so how can we do the color assignment? So the key idea is that if we let the node which gets the largest number, then so this is the extremal principle idea. So in general, like the technique which I used, which you should keep in mind, is the extremal principle, which is to consider extreme cases. So the extreme case which we considered is the node which gets the number n. So if you consider that node the extreme case which gets the number n, then all of its the neighbors will have a number less than n. So d of node will be number of neighbors of this node. Now the key question is which node should get this number, and the key idea is that since we are binary searching, the reason why we are using the binary search is because we know that any of the neighbors, any node which has number of neighbors less than or equal to the mid value, so let's say mid is 2, then any node which has less than or equal to 2 neighbors is free to get the largest value, which is 5. So for example, in this case, we can see that 4 has only 2 neighbors. So we can assign 5 to this node. And note that there can be multiple possible assignments, so we need to print any one of them. And like that's why the assignment which they give will be different from the assignment which I'm showing you. Just to let you know that there can be multiple possible assignments. So let's say we took the node 4 because that has less than or equal to 2 neighbors, and we know that d of 4, so we know that d of 4, so c of 4 will be 5 and d of 4 will be 2 because two neighbors have a value less than 5 which are adjacent to node 4. Then we basically maintain the number of neighbors of each node. So the number of neighbors of node 1 will decrease by 1 because 4 is already processed. So since 4 is already processed, we basically know that the number of neighbors of 1 will are only 2. So we can assign 1 the next largest value. So we can assign c of 1 to be the next largest value, which is 4. And note that now d of 1 will be 2 because there are two neighbors of 1. And that's why we can just ignore the neighbor 4 because we know that when we reach node 1, 4 already has a larger value. So you can understand that we are going in decreasing order of the values. We initially assign the largest value to the node which has neighbors less than or equal to 2. We go to each of the node's neighbors. We decrease the number of neighbors of that node by 1, by the neighbors by 1. So basically we maintain the degree of each node and we decrease the degree of the node by 1, exactly how we do in Khan's algorithm. And whenever we get a node which has a degree less than or equal to mid, we can assign that node the largest value so far. So that's why we assigned the node 1 the largest value so far, which is 4. Then we decrease the neighbors of 2 and 3. So let's say we took I'm just going in a random order over here. Obviously, the algorithm will go in a breadth first search manner, so it will actually explore the node 2 after this, but I'm just going in a random order. So after this, let's say we take node 3. So node 3 also has two neighbors, so that's why two remaining neighbors. That's why we can assign c of 3 to be 3 and d of 3 will be 2 because there are two neighbors which are not yet processed and both of which will have a value less than 3 because we are going in decreasing order of the numbers. So that's why we know that both 2 and 5 will have a number less than 3 and that's why d of 3 will be 2. Then that's why it's less than or equal to mid, so we are fine. And then we can basically remove this and we can consider the node 2 or we can consider node 5, either one of them. If you consider node 2 for example, then you get that c of 2 will be the next smallest value, which is 2, and d of 2 will just be 1 because there's one remaining neighbor. And in the end we take the smallest value because we went from 5 to 4, then to 3, then to 2, and now to 1. So c of 5 will be 1 and d of 5 will be 0 because there are no neighbors which get a value less than 5. And that's why we are ensuring that the maximum possible number of neighbors is less than or equal to 2. So we are going to return true and we are also going to maintain this arrangement. Now you can see that when we call the check function on 1, then you'll realize that no node has a number of neighbors less than or equal to 1. That's why the breadth first search won't get executed because no nodes will get added to the queue and we'll return false. Whenever we return true, we also can maintain a global variable which represents the assignment. And in the end, we just print the assignment because the assignment will tell us for which optimal value we got that assignment. And in this way, we can do the breadth first search. So basically formalizing the algorithm, in the binary search, we choose any node with number of neighbors less than or equal to mid and we add it to the queue. Then we go to each of its neighbors, the neighbors of the current node which we popped out from the queue, from the front of the queue. We go to each of the neighbors and decrease the neighbor count by 1, the degree of the neighbor by 1. And if that degree of the neighbor is less than or equal to mid, then we add it. And this will always ensure that the number of neighbors of each node from the front of the queue is less than or equal to mid. And that's why we are always ensuring the condition that d of that node is less than or equal to mid. And since d of that node is less than or equal to mid, then we know max di is less than or equal to mid, and that's why the binary search works. And since we are assigning this node the largest remaining number, we can keep track of that with the variable as I did when I was dry running it with this example. In the same way, we'll use it in the code. So I'll be showing the code in just a minute. And like that's why we can simulate the binary search. And like that's the full logic. Now I'll show you the code implementing the same idea. So in the code, I maintain the adjacency list. I maintain the in degrees, which basically the degrees, and I maintain the answer. Answer represents the numbers assigned to each node, and this numbers assigned to each node is done in the binary search check function. So I'll be going to the check function in just a bit. In the main method, I use fast input output always, and I take in the value of t. For each test case, I take in the value of n and m. I reset the adjacency list and the degrees of each node because I'm reusing them as a global variable. Then for each edge, I increase the degree of u and the degree of v, where u and v are the endpoints of the edge. And I don't just I also add them to the respective adjacency lists. Then I'm binary searching for the minimum value of the max di. So to do that, I maintain the variable opt, which represents the max di. Initially opt is n and the range is 0 to n, because we know that we want to find the minimum value of the max di. And then while n is less than or equal to r, I take the middle value. If check of mid returns true, then we binary search for a smaller value, otherwise we binary search for a larger value. And note that whenever my check function returns true, I also update the answer vector to represent the numbers assigned to each node. So in the end, I know that answer of I represents the number assigned to each node, and this answer of I corresponds to the optimal value. The reason being, we set the optimal to mid, and we also assigned the numbers assigned to each node to the global variable, to the global vector answer, and in this way we ensure that both optimal and answer are updated. So now I'll show you where that is done. So note that in the last line, answer is C, where C represents the color combination, or it represents the number of each node, because we know that whenever we are returning true, opt will be mid and answer will be C. So that's the last two lines. Now in the main part of the binary search, I maintain a queue for running the Kahn's algorithm. I maintain a copy of the in degrees. I maintain the colors of the nodes or the numbers of the nodes, and I maintain the current number, which represents the largest number so far. So for each I going from 1 to n, if the degree of node I is less than or equal to mid, I set color of I to be the current number, current largest number so far, and I decrease the current number by 1 and I push I to the queue. Note that since there can be more than one, so this is important, since there can be more than one connected component, we need to iterate over all nodes, and add all of them with in degree less than or equal to mid, so that like if there is one connected component which is separate from another, we are exploring both the connected components after the entire queue is run. So in the queue, I mean in the while loop for the breadth first search, for each I take the top value from the queue, and for each we go into the adjacency list of u. I decrease v, and if the neighbor is visited, then we go ahead. So note that C of v represents the numbers of the neighbors, numbers of the nodes. So if C of v is 0, then we know that it's not visited, and if C of v is not 0, then we know that C of v belongs to 1 comma n, and that's why that's why it's visited. So we ignore this if it's visited. If it's not visited and the degree is less than or equal to mid, then we set color of v to be the current number, and we decrease the current number by 1. And note that current number goes in decreasing order from n to 1. That's why the logic works. That's why we know that d of the node will be the number of neighbors of the node, and whenever d of the node is less than or equal to mid, then we add it to the queue and we process its neighbors. And in this way, we are always ensuring that d of each node taken from the top of the queue is less than or equal to mid. And in the end, if there is any unvisited node, we return false, otherwise we return true and set the answer to be the color vector. And in the end, we print the optimal value and the color vector. So now I'll just submit this code to see that it gets accepted. So as you could see, my code got accepted, and note that the time complexity is n plus m. And since n plus m does not exceed 3 into 10 power of 5 plus 3 into 10 power of 5, which is 6 into 10 power of 5, that will easily work in 0.49 seconds, as you can see. And I hope you like this problem and my solution. As you could see, this problem cleverly used binary search and a modification of the Kahn's algorithm to efficiently compute the minimum value of the max DI. And if you had any doubts, do leave them in the comments down below. Thank you.